we've made a few videos in the past addressing the question, does the ATF, or really any government body for that matter, register or track or trace firearms? Now, those are three different questions. Let's start with that. Tracking or tracing a firearm is something that the ATF has been doing since the creation of the ATF. Ultimately, what takes place is if a firearm is recovered from a crime scene and they get the serial number off of that, they'll take it first to the manufacturer or the distributor to find out what gun store did that go to. Then they go to the gun store, and then they actually pull your background check information and they find out who the gun went to, and they do that because the records are kept at the gun store. Now, I want to take this moment and talk about a recent policy change in the ATF that could create kind of a pseudo gun registry. Now, we'll start by saying the ATF does not register firearms. You don't have to register your firearms. Depending on what state you're in, I know like California residents and a few others do have to register their firearms, but when it comes to the federal government, there's no gun registry. And many laws have been placed on the ATF to prevent them from establishing a registry, much of which is preventing them from keeping digital records. So they just literally have mountains and mountains of hundreds, if not billions, of sheets of paper of just different records over the years. So much so that it's actually collapsed ceilings in the ATF. So with that being said, what this video is about is kind of this pseudo registry based on a new policy. Now, the new policy, or the old policy, was that a gun dealer had to keep the records for 20 years. The new policy states that they have to keep the records forever. Now, that changes because if a gun store goes out of business, then all of those records go to the ATF to create kind of a pseudo registry. Now, you might wonder, well, how many gun stores really go out of business every year? But let's just say that according to the ATF, they're processing at least 1 million files every month strictly from gun stores going out of business. So, and what I mean by files, not millions of stores every month, but a store will go out of business and then they get millions of files from that store. They're processing millions of files from gun stores around the country every month. If that goes on to forever, then the record of your gun purchase will be with the gun store or with the ATF forever, which then creates a pseudo registry. And that's really what everybody's been trying to avoid the whole time. And a lot of times when they pass little policies like this, most people don't know that they passed this policy. Most people don't understand what this has, the ramifications of this. But the ramifications of this are definitely that your records are now going to be permanently either within the gun store you bought it from or within the ATF system. And that, my friends, is the creation of a gun registry. And this has to stop immediately. This is a new policy that took effect, I believe, in October. And now we're, again, we won't see the ramifications of this for quite some time, but just kind of knowing that every gun you've ever purchased is now going to be within the records of the ATF or within the gun store as long as it stays in business, again, creates kind of a pseudo registry. Love to hear your thoughts on all this. Put in the comments below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. If you feel called to support this channel through Patreon, that link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.